Boy, we back in Brown's Neighborhood podcast. You know, I had Eric one time, but he wanted a redo. I got the first one, though. If he act up, I got it. So he better be real good, because, you know, we don't know what he said on the first one. But, hey, this time, we back, E.
Yeah, we back.
We back, boy. Eric is one of my partners. I've been knowing him ever since elementary.
Yes.
Wow. You know, how many people you just really keep in contact with from elementary? There's a lot of good guys on Mary Street. I grew up on 85th Street, about a half a mile away. But Eric, they street was like a little house on the prairie. And a half a mile away, where my block, it got a little rougher. You know, but we still family.
That's right.
And everything worked out all right. Eric, when did you move on Mary Street?
I was born into that house.
What?
Birthday, November 28, 1962.
Huh?
My brother Kevin was born into that house. My brother Randy, they was born into that house. That's the only house I ever stayed in.
Eric, well, when did y'all buy that house? You know, your mom and dad did?
Mom and Dad got that house in 50...
What?
I may be wrong. I think 54.
Is that right?
Yeah, 1954.
Wow.
I may be wrong, though.
In the 50s period.
Yes.
Because we in 2026.
Yes.
No,
yes.
2025.
Right.
So, man, that's almost 70 years or more.
Yep.
God,
and was born and raised right there on Mary Street.
Is that right?
Yeah. And you know, we had the same phone number for years. And when I purchased the home, that's when we got rid of landlines and stuff. So
you messed it up.
I messed it up. And my brother said...
It would be him.
Well, you know, cell phones.
Right.
I don't want no... I didn't need another bill.
You need well, you know, sometimes you can't get away from it.
Exactly.
Eric them had a football team on their block.
Yes, sir.
And they played other blocks.
Yes.
But nobody had a uniform but them.
Mm-hmm.
So that tell you something right there. They block had money. They had uniforms and everything. If they played my street or any other street, we were just wearing our regular clothes.
Exactly. You know, we started off playing among ourselves on Mary Street. Every day we got out of school, we'd meet up, do our homework, meet up, play football, light pole to light pole. And so we got a little older, we started challenging other blocks. Ricardo Crump and them, Antoine and them.
Wow.
We would go out to Carson and challenge these guys that went to Cal State, LA, big old Samoan cats. 90th Street, 90th and Vermont.
Wow.
And Drew was our home field.
Well, what my question is, you know, we had a park called Roosevelt, and they had a football team.
Yes.
Eric them passed that park up, went all the way to
Salt Lake
Park. Why in the world did y'all pass the park up?
Well, Christopher Wren, he knew all the coaches there at HP. So he had got us hooked up in that football program.
Oh.
You know, and so I played just one season with him and stuff,
right,
you know.
Right.
And my brothers and them and all the rest of the cats on Mary Avenue, they continued playing.
Right.
You know.
Eric was the all-American kid, the baby of the family.
Yes.
So Dad was pretty protective of me.
Mm-hmm.
I was the baby of mine, too.
Yeah. And we both were spoiled rotten.
Oh, man, wait a minute, man.
Got away with murder. We got away with everything.
Man, why don't you just let you get away with everything? Why you gonna tell on me?
Yes.
Now, look here. We in the 6th grade. No, maybe, I don't know, 5th or 6th grade. 6th grade.
6.
And we in the same class. And Eric was talking to me. Somebody, we talking to each other. But the teacher catch me. The teacher finna come over and hit me. They don't even tell me. They just let me get hit.
No. What happened was...
What happened?
We was talking, me, you, and Antoine. We didn't see her coming, Because earlier she said no talking. It was our first day of 6th grade, Miss Threadgill. And next thing you know, I saw a ruler. No, a yardstick. She whacked me on my shoulder, whacked you, then whacked Antoine.
Well, why?
And you jumped up. What you hit me for? And I just sat there. I said, I can't say nothing. 'Cause my dad and mom gonna whoop my butt, you know. And so you went storming out the classroom. You said, I'm going to get mom's.
Hey,
shoot.
So that tell you I wasn't playing.
That's-
You ain't finna be hitting on me.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I'm gonna go get Big Mama.
Oh yeah.
And Big Mama gonna come and straighten some of this stuff out.
Yeah.
Eric, he had to take it like a man.
Cause I couldn't go home and say I'm talking in class.
Hey.
You know.
Hey, look here.
Oh way, boy.
Boy, look here. Pops will beat him half to death.
Exactly.
Eric, you come in up in a two-parent home, which a lot of people was coming up in two-parent home. Gary them down the street, coming up in two-parent home. Y'all had a really good street, businessmen.
Yes.
What did your dad do for a living, man?
My dad worked for the city. He was a concrete finisher.
Concrete finisher.
Yeah, for many, many, many years.
Taking care of the house.
Taking care of the house.
Bought that house.
Brought that house.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, why you didn't lay no concrete?
Man, I was on the end of the shovel. I was pulling the mud, you know. My brother Kevin, my older brother Dennis, they became finishers.
Right.
Doing the same thing Pops was doing. My older brother, Gregory, he didn't have nothing to do with that. He went to school to become, work with Northrop and Rockwell.
Oh, so okay.
And Dennis became cement finisher. My other brother, Jeffrey, he went to the medical field.
So there's a couple of smart ones in the group.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And my next brother, Randy, he became graphic artist.
Is that right?
That's what made me take up the printing classes.
Is that right? So you was trying to take after one of them.
Yeah, because I didn't want to do that hard concrete work.
Look, he didn't want to do no hard work. He got hit on that football field, and he said, that's enough of that. Who team was you on, and what's the name of the team?
I was on the Corsairs.
I'm talking about at the Drew, once we got to Drew.
Oh, Drew, okay. I was on Mr. Williams, the Giants. We was on the same team. And we ruled that up from 7th grade on to the 9th grade.
Look at it. I took care of you.
Yeah. Hey, until you said Michael Houston cheated us.
Well, he did. That man.
But time had ran out in that game.
Time ran out. I don't know what happened.
Yes.
But you know, Ed, we don't lose.
No.
And we in life, man, we ain't trying to lose now. We done got older, you see. I used to just have me a little mustache. And I used to see Eric taking these pictures, his big thing be looking real nice. I said, man, I don't want people to know how old I am, but I'm gonna try that.
And you know, when I was barefaced, I used to rub this, see my brothers and my dad with their beard, and so I couldn't wait to grow a beard. Now I hate it because I gotta shave every day. Sometimes I used to get the clipping and just whack it off,
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, it's trademark for you now.
Yeah, it is.
It's a trademark for you.
It is.
So Eric got on out of Russell Elementary.
Mm-hmm.
Eric wasn't getting in trouble. Eric get in trouble, boy, it was gonna be a rough day.
Mm-hmm.
But he would watch all of us get in trouble. He a cold brother, I'm gonna tell you that. That Eric, man, was we in any classes together?
Man, we was in a bunch of classes together. I just stayed up under the radar. I just say, let me get this education, get on out of here.
Is that right?
Yeah. I remember one year you guys had got, because I took all of Mr. Bush, automotive, sheet metal,
right.
Mr. Crockett, wood shop,
yeah,
Mr. Hurley, aviation, Mr. Hall, graphic arts. 8th grade, I waited too late to get one of those elective classes. Man, I ended up I got cooking and sewing. The only guy in there.
Oh, man, look here.
And I thought it was going to be something bad. He's a sissy.
It turned out all right?
Man, it turned out fantastic, I was courting and, just doing what I do and stuff.
Boy, look here.
You know.
Eric, you done all of that. You stayed under the radar.
A whole year. Even at Fremont.
You stayed under the radar at Fremont?
Yeah, I just went there to get my education and get out of there. You know?
Man, this is one of the cats out of the group that was living the all-American life.
Mm-hmm.
But this boy was around more trouble than he could get himself into. He just missed it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was growing up around gangs, guys playing ball, tough, whatever. But he didn't get in no trouble.
But you got to think, you know, I had older brothers.
Right.
Every brother, that's Baby Thompson. You know, I didn't have a chance to get in trouble. You know, a lot of the guys that was involved with gangs, I hung with them, but I didn't associate with them, you know?
Right.
I didn't hang out with them when they was doing their dirt and stuff.
Right.
Because I had older brothers, and Mom and Pops didn't play that, you know?
Right.
So I just stayed away. You know, we got out of school, we played football on the street.
Right.
We didn't hang out with the riffraffs and stuff, you know. But they were still my friends, though.
Right.
You know.
Right. So, Eric, cut you off.
Yeah.
Look, you made it through Fremont. Did you graduate?
Yeah. Sports arena. Yeah.
Sports arena.
Yep, the sports arena.
Did you make the honor roll?
No, man, made no damn honor roll.
No. Well, man, if you ain't getting in no trouble, you should have been like an honor student.
Yeah, I was average.
Well, did you go to college?
Trade Tech. I went to Trade Tech to pursue. Let me back up to Fremont. When I left Drew, Mr. Hall studying graphic arts.
Right.
That was my major.
Right.
Okay. By the time we got to Fremont, the graphic arts shop, that whole
they kicked
caught
all
on
that
fire and it burned down. I had a chance to go like to Manual Arts or to Jefferson and take up their graphic arts class.
You wasn't gonna do it.
I wasn't gonna do it. I was gonna stay at Fremont.
You gonna stay at Fremont? He's staying in the hood.
Yeah, but when I left out of Fremont, when I left out of Fremont with the Trade Tech, and I took graphic arts over there.
Right.
A year and a half. And I had an opportunity to get a job.
What kind of job?
Doing custodian work, working at Hebrew Union College Skirball Museum Institute. On 30th and Hoover, right across the street from 32nd Street Shopping Center, down the street from USC.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just supposed to work 30 days. So my dad said, hey, you're going to start working, you're going to start making money, and you ain't going to want to go back to school. So those 30 days, because the guy I was working for, he was going to do 30 days in jail.
Wait a minute.
It's a good story, though.
Well, wait a minute. We're going to get to that. Now, you was a good student, or was you?
Yeah, I was average.
I mean, was you kind of a smart kid or something?
Well, you know, I got by. I was a B and C. Let's put it like that. I wasn't no A student. I wasn't no AB student.
So why you didn't get an AE at Drew?
You had to get accepted to AE.
And
you know,
what would get you accepted?
I didn't know. I guess we had to be an outstanding student in elementary school.
Right.
Because I know I was 5th grade, I was in Miss Schraber's class. Mm-hmm. That was the 5th and 6th grade class.
Right.
But I got in trouble with Miss Schraber. She said she gonna send me to Miss Threadgill. That was a threat. If you messed up in the 5th grade and they say they gonna send you to
Miss Threadgill, you know it's about to be.
You know you'll mess up.
Now look I'm asking Eric this because he wasn't getting in no trouble.
No.
So you should have been a good student, dude.
Yeah, you know, I was a good student.
You should have been in AE.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of us should have been.
No, not me.
You, Leonard, Antoine.
Not all of them.
How did Ron Williams get in there?
Because his daddy was going to beat him to death.
That's right.
What you mean?
Yeah.
Your daddy coming up to the school and hanging out in your class, you ain't going to do nothing wrong. Man, what you talking about?
Ron Williams.
Ron Williams, good athlete,
yes.
Good guy,
yes.
One of our alumni.
Right.
Now, Now you can tell me about once you got out of Fremont.
Okay. Before that, I was working after school when I was going to Drew.
After school where?
Working with one of the neighbors down the street, Mr. Leon.
Working with a neighbor?
Mr. Leon. You know, he had this construction business. Not construction, custodial business.
Don't you get the twisting in that chair,
Yeah, okay.
I done told him about that.
Yeah.
And the first chance he get, he going back and forth.
Yeah. And so after we get out of school, Mr. Leon would come pick me up. You know his son, Keenan.
Yep.
Me and Keenan, we used to work with his grandfather. 3 hours a night. Beverly Hills cleaning up these office buildings. Got $20 a night. We was working like slaves. We
was a slave.
Yeah. But that was way back in, the 70s and stuff,
Right.
But to make a long story short, I started working at Hebrew College for 30 days.
Who got you that job?
One of the neighbors' husband.
One of the neighbor husbands.
Yeah. He
got you a job.
Yeah.
Why he give it to you?
Because they was looking for a youngster in the neighborhood that's dependable. And so I was that youngster that was dependable, So
you think you was dependable?
Yeah, I was. And I started working. Then he had longer than 30 days. 30 days went to 60 days. My dad came up to me again and said, hey, don't forget, you still got school. You're going to start making that money and you ain't going to want to go back. And he was right. I started making money. Then now I'm permanent working
at Hebrew
College.
So you wasn't going back to school?
Nah. Because I was young.
And you were done with school.
Yeah, I was done with
Even though your dad was mentioned in school, you didn't want to go back.
Yeah. But I kind of regretted that I didn't continue. I could have went back and continued, but my hours.
If you're not no smart guy, why you want to go back?
Well, graphic art's a trade.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to, or Einstein to burn plates and stuff,
Well, can you give me what burning plates is?
Okay.
You just tell the people you burning plates.
Yeah, okay.
What is burning plates?
Okay, in graphic arts, you have to burn a negative. Okay, say like a newspaper. In order to print a newspaper, you have to strip. Stripping is a form of putting stories together like on a plate. Then that plate would get shot by a camera, in which that camera gonna have a negative. Then you get that negative and go into a dark room and you put this negative on a plate in which a bright light will burn that image onto the plate.
And you gonna tell me you wanted to do that?
It was simple. And
so it sure sound complicated.
No, it wasn't. So the plate that you burn, now you have an image on this plate, and that plate goes on to a press. The ink and stuff what goes on to this plate.
You gotta have patience for that.
No, it's cool though. A lot of the stuff I don't remember, but I remember most of it. So you wanted to work
for a newspaper?
Newspaper or a private corporation, Because I know my brother, he worked for quite a few different printing firms. Like printing posters.
Okay, but that didn't work.
That didn't work out.
Well, let's talk about what worked.
Hebrew College.
Hebrew College worked for you.
That was my bread and butter right there.
Yeah, so what were you doing there?
We were doing custodian work, cleaning these classrooms, kitchens, office.
Did y'all see any kids over there?
No,
grown folks or anything?
Well, the kids come like when they had open house and stuff like that. This was like an institution to become a rabbi.
And how long did you stay there?
About 5 or 6 years.
You did?
Yeah, 5 or 6 years.
At Hebrew?
Yep, because my supervisor that I was working under, he had gotten in trouble with the law. So,
was he a black person?
Yeah, it's a long story.
Well, we ain't finna have no long story.
No. And
so when he got fired, let me say this. Yeah. He got whatever.
Yeah.
What happened after that? They got rid of you?
No, they promoted me up to night supervisor now.
They promoted you?
Within 6 months. Nobody else on the crew didn't want the position, so I took it.
Oh, boy, here we go.
So that's some more cheddar in my account.
Okay. So how old were you when this happened?
I started about 21.
21?
Yeah, 21
Had you
years
found
old.
a girlfriend, anything like that?
Oh yeah.
So you was in a relationship.
Yeah,
And you working.
Well, I wasn't really in a relationship just yet. I was courting.
You was courting.
Yeah. I wasn't
So
in a
what were you
relationship.
courting at 20 and 19?
Man,
Well, when did you ever get a woman then?
what year was that?
Oh, man, I don't know.
No. I'm trying to, because I was single for a long time and stuff.
You was?
Yeah.
From
I
all
was
the way
in a
through
relationship.
high school?
No, high school, it was just puppy love and stuff. I wasn't
Well, puppy
like the rest of
love
those
is
guys.
pretty good love.
I'll find somebody, go up under the bleachers. It was.
Okay, you're out of high school, puppy love over. Now you're 18.
Yeah.
Did you find
Straight.
love?
Oh, yeah. It wasn't nothing serious, I was just,
Well, when did it ever get serious, eh?
I say about 23.
I'll be damned.
About 23. That's when I
It took him
kind of
5
settled down, I kind of settled down.
He done went through high school.
Yeah.
Then he got to 18, it didn't get serious. He got to 19, he didn't get serious. And then 23.
Yeah.
Who did you meet at 23?
My son's mama. Yeah, my son's
You
mama.
fell in love.
Fell in love.
And had how many kids?
Two
You
boys.
had 2 kids. Did you get married?
But when I got into, we got married. When I got into the relationship, she had a 3-year-old son.
Okay.
And, he's my son.
That's right.
And so little E came later on,
Mm-hmm.
So about 7, 8 years later, we got married. Yeah.
7 or 8 years later.
Oh, probably a little bit longer than that. I think we caught about.
Well, what you wait all them many years for?
Well, I just wasn't ready, I just wasn't ready. Marriage,
Yeah.
I wasn't really ready to get married
Why?
at such a young age.
You almost 30 now.
Yeah.
Well, what you was waiting for?
I don't know.
You was scared?
Yeah.
You was?
Yeah.
Why would you be scared when your mom and dad married for years and years?
And they got married young, too.
Well, you should have been brave enough to ready to
Mom
go.
and Pops their anniversary was yesterday, come to think of it. They got married when they was 19 years old.
Well, they had a lot more heart.
Yeah.
So-
Well, back then,
So, you said, were you married?
Yeah.
Well, you acting like
She didn't take me serious at first. We was in Vegas.
Well, if you'd have made me wait 8 years, I wonder why.
Yeah, she didn't take me serious at first, so I said, well, we'll wait 2 or 3 more years.
Is that right?
Yeah. You think I'm joking? And it was just a joke, I was drinking at the time, and
You was drinking.
yeah, we was in Vegas.
You was in Vegas drinking.
I was drunk when I proposed.
Well, then I wouldn't have believed you either.
Yeah.
You don't believe a drunk.
Yeah. And so,
she don't want you to marry her because you drunk.
man,
You know.
we was all feeling good though, all of us.
She was drinking too.
Yeah, had a little nip, so not
Well,
as much.
why would you want to go get married?
Not as much as a
So
fellas.
you got little E. You got her pregnant.
Yeah.
Had little E.
Yeah.
When you was drunk.
Yeah.
No,
when Lil E was born, I kind of slowed down.
Change your life.
Change your life.
Lil E, you changed his life, man.
Yeah.
Thank God for Lil E.
Yeah.
Yeah. You stop smoking weed and everything.
Yeah.
Who started you on that weed?
I used to look at my older brothers, man, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
You did?
Yeah.
Smoking.
Yeah, and I can remember the first time too,
How old were you?
Oh man, probably about 16 or 17.
Boy, if your dad could hear you now, he'd get you.
Yeah. And so,
If your dad could hear you,
no, my mama.
Okay, well, Mom
Mom had to come pick us up from Firestone.
Sheriff station?
Oh yeah.
For what?
Me and Keenan was up there rolling up some joints. Back then, on 4-finger bags.
Yeah.
And we just rolling joints up on the gym field. They drew.
At Drew?
Yeah, that's when mopeds was hot.
This nigga's rolling joints up at
On the gym field in the corner. We just rolled. We had a shoebox and everything. The next thing you know.
At Drew?
Yeah. Next thing you know, school was out. This was on the weekend.
On the weekend.
Because the cats was playing football on Mary Avenue.
Oh, you got caught by the
The
police.
sheriff. They come running up this way, and they blocked that back gate so we couldn't get away. Keenan got away some kind of way.
You got caught.
I got caught.
Only one.
Only one.
Yeah.
They knew who he was.
Look here. Look. Yeah.
Yeah.
You knew it just wasn't right.
It wasn't right.
You the only one got caught.
Yeah. And
Couldn't run fast enough to get away.
Couldn't.
And
My
that
moped wouldn't start.
I would have left that moped.
Yeah.
The gate was like real high.
But it seemed like 30 feet when we was little.
You
couldn't
wasn't
climb.
finna
I wasn't going to climb it.
So
You
you'd
know.
rather go to jail?
Well, okay. They said, get on the moped. We're going to follow you. If you try to run, we're going to run you over. So now everybody out there playing football, and they laughing. They laughing.
Look,
And my brother said, you should have been playing with us up there messing around and stuff, you know.
Baby brother.
I'm a baby brother.
Boy, look here, Ed. You went on that job.
Yeah.
You worked for the Hebrew people for 5.5 years.
5 or 6 years, yes.
How did you leave there?
Pops told me, he said.
Pops did.
Yeah, Pops was working at, for this
He
construction.
gonna tell you to leave the job?
Yeah. Because I was getting tired of it. You know, I got a lot of my buddies' jobs there, working as gardeners.
You
doing
did that?
Yeah, a lot of
So you was helping folks.
Yeah, I got Ed McKenzie. Ed stayed around
So
the corner
why
from me.
Pops gonna tell you to leave the job?
Because I was getting tired of it, and he said I wasn't learning nothing. I wasn't growing, doing the same thing. Anybody can pick up a mop and mop a floor. So he was doing construction work for this company called Lauren Built. Lauren Built was a subsidiary from National Lumber.
Okay.
So what they did was build stores, did repairs, set up displays and all that good stuff. Some dads told me, he said, come on over here, you can learn a trade, you know.
And did you learn
I learned a lot. Learned a lot of
it? It was a little bit
carpentry.
more hard work.
But it was cool. I was okay with it then because I was much older and much more mature then, you know.
So how long did you stay there?
We stayed there. I stayed there for about 5 or 6 years until they went bankrupt. You remember National Lumber? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So were you married at the time?
Yeah, I was married at the time.
Married with how many kids?
Just 2 boys.
2 boys.
Yep, 2 boys.
Were one of them hers before you had it?
Yeah. My
that's
oldest
2.
one, PJ. Yes.
Okay. So now
And National Lumber, that's why I used to run across Leonard all the time over at the Culver City store. So we worked at all the stores. When I first got hired in, they was working on the Fontana store, building from the ground up. And that's when I came on in, doing everything.
So National Lumber went out of business.
Yes,
Because your life got to get cranked up.
big time,
You know.
big time.
You married,
Married,
kids,
kids,
job go out of business.
yes. Now I'm doing, me and Pop's doing handyman work,
You working with Pop
working with Pops, helping him out and stuff.
because you need some money.
Exactly. But I worked for the post office as a casual for a hot second. Then once that time ran out, I started working for the Long Beach Naval Shipyard.
Well, why you didn't stay there?
What,
Were you
the
alone?
shipyard?
You could have been a longshoreman.
No. We was working on military ships. What we was doing was totally different from a longshore.
Oh, okay.
Longshoremen work with the containers. We worked on the naval ships. And so I worked there until Ronnie Reagan closed that place up. That military alignment is to save money for the United
look
States.
here, man. You already left school. You didn't go and get you no education.
Yes.
And you just jumping from one job to the next.
Good jobs.
They were good jobs?
All my jobs was good jobs.
Making money.
Making money.
Man, your wife gonna get you though, cause she's like, man, you keep these jobs keep going out of business.
Hey, I didn't have no.
You didn't have no control
I
of
didn't
that.
have no control. But I tell you what, when I was working at the Long Beach Naval Shipyard, I got a job working for UPS. I was working both of those gigs. I didn't know daytime. I didn't know if I was going to UPS or the shipyard.
Hey, You sure had a lot of jobs.
A lot of jobs. A lot of jobs.
Well, when did you ever get to going to be working at the school?
Okay, the school district came later on.
Later on?
Later on.
Well, you sure got a lot of experience before you got there.
Yeah, I started with the district in 96.
Is that right?
96. I started with LA Unified. Started building.
Well, don't jump to the school.
Okay.
What other job? How many more places did you work? About 3?
When the shipyard closed down, I worked with this private firm from New Jersey.
Doing what?
Changing out residential and commercial water meters. You know the water meters that's in front of your house where they shut off?
Yeah.
I was doing that. And I did that for about a year.
Buddha, this cat done a whole lot of jobs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I worked. I worked. And my mom and pops was proud, you know. all of us, all my brothers, we all had.
Well, Kevin then kept doing the same work.
Yeah.
You should have started working with that cement.
Yeah, but you know, after a while, it break it down.
With that cement?
Yeah, boy, it break it down. You know.
You didn't want to get broke down?
No, I didn't want to get broke down. But Kevin went on, my older brother, he had 30 years plus doing concrete work.
Okay, well, let's see. Look here. We want to know how many more jobs you got before you got to the school district.
Yeah. Okay. After the shipyard shut down, I started working, changing out those meters.
Right.
And after that, that's when I started taking classes for LA Unified School District.
Who told you about the classes?
Gilbert McGowan.
Boy, life finally finna make a turn.
Yep.
He had some good jobs, but it's finally finna make a turn for him. Because he just going from one job to the next.
Yep.
Good kid. Should have went to college. You know, everything just going good for him. He only went to jail because not to jail.
Well, they hold him.
Yeah, but I don't want him to think he went to jail. He didn't go to jail. They just detained him.
Yeah, trying to scare me straight.
Did it scare you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, you know that scared you.
Well, I wasn't behind no bars. I was behind a wooden door with a little peephole in it.
Man, if they would have pulled me up in the police station, I would have been scared.
Oh, scared straight. And moms had to come get me. My moms.
You was embarrassed.
And my brother and Derek Pearl.
Wasn't you embarrassed?
No. Because they was laughing at me. My brother and my mom said, you wait till your father get home. You tell him what happened. Dad already knew I was smoking weed.
He did?
Yeah, he knew I was already smoking.
Boy, look here.
But I still had to tell him anyway.
So Gil helped you?
Yeah, Gil helped me.
What made him mention it to you?
No, Gil was telling everybody in the neighborhood, go down to Fremont.
How was Gil getting over to your street? Gil was over by over on
86th and 87th and Compton Avenue. But Gil was always over there with the fields all the time.
Oh,
he was always down the street.
Okay.
You know, then that was the boring end going towards Firestone. 87th to 89th, that was the live wire of Mary Street.
Right.
And so Gilbert said, man, he was already working for him, you know.
Right.
Gilbert probably already had about 10 years in.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't believe he was a window washer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, rest his soul,
thought he was lying.
Yeah. So I went down there. A whole bunch of us went down there, you know, but they wanted to keep partying on the weekends and stuff.
So you took the custodian class, the buildings and grounds.
Buildings, B&G classes at Fremont High School every Saturday.
I took it too.
8 hours.
I took it too.
And I loved it. You know,
it changed your life.
It changed my life, man. Then after that, Butcher, I took heating and ventilation.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Johnson.
Was that the buildings and grounds guy? Was it the black guy still teaching the class?
I had Ed Watson.
Ed Watson?
And you probably had Tuggle.
I think I had Tuggle.
Yeah, Tuggle. I think he's still teaching.
Yep.
In East LA.
I think so.
Then after I took my heating and vent, I went on and took supervision and schedule. I just knocked everything out at once. You take those courses to become a supervisor.
Did you become one?
Not really. Not really.
You didn't want to be a supervisor?
Yeah, I was working my way to become a plant manager.
Okay.
And that didn't work out. You know, once I got my foot in the door, I started taking tests for a painter, a sheet metal, even though I didn't have experience.
Right.
Plumbing, just to get your foot in the door.
Were you still married?
Yeah, I was still married.
How long did you stay married? Yeah.
We had separated.
After how long?
I think 10 years into the marriage, or not even that. Probably about 8 years into the marriage.
8 years into the marriage. So you was together 8 years before marriage.
Yeah.
And then 8 years during marriage.
Yeah.
What made you get separated?
Well, it just things didn't work out.
Why they didn't work out, Eric?
I don't think I was ready.
You don't think you was ready?
I don't think I was.
You was already with her 16 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, how you gonna fit? You took you that long to figure that out?
It took a long time to figure it out.
Were you in love?
Yeah, I was in love.
So you fell out?
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Why did you fall out of love, Eric?
Because the happiness wasn't there no more.
Why the happiness wasn't there?
Because I wasn't.
It's time for you to answer up to some of these questions. You ain't finna just have me Brown, I don't. What happened? Did something happen?
No, I just wasn't.
Ain't nothing
ready.
gonna happen. You gonna tell a lady, it's time to separate.
It was time. It was time.
Well, what went bad?
Well, the love just wasn't there no more.
So you just fall out of love that easy?
Yeah.
But look here.
Things happen. Things.
What did anything happen to make you fall out of love? I know you don't want to say it, but something had to happen.
Yeah, it was just something extracurricular activity on my part.
You were doing some cheating.
Well,
there ain't no were you cheating? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's move on, man, because you would be playing with my mind now, an extracurricular activity, like you was over just, lollygagging.
Yeah.
What made you cheat?
I just happiness.
No, what?
I just wasn't happy no more,
Why you wasn't happy? She wasn't having sex with you no more?
No, we was having sex.
It wasn't good to you no more?
Oh, it was good. It was good.
It was still good, but you want to go somewhere else?
Yeah, man.
Why in the world would you want to do that? It's already good at home.
Yeah. I just wasn't ready.
You was ready. You said I do?
Yeah.
And it still was good to you?
It was good to me. But I strayed. I strayed a little bit, man. I strayed. And I messed my marriage up.
Yeah, what little hussy made you leave and go over there and get her?
It wasn't even worth it.
I know it wasn't.
It wasn't even worth it.
But how did she windle you in? Don't do it, Eric.
Yeah.
You gonna have to come out of that. Brown.
My conscience told me, you about to mess everything up, and I messed up.
Look here, man.
Yeah.
What made you go do it? Was she fine or something?
It was just.
You just went and cheated with an ugly lady.
No, she was okay.
You had sex with her?
Yeah.
What turned you on?
It was just her personality. That's what.
Man, boy, a personality made you cheat.
Yeah, and her.
Look here. I'm tired of that.
Well, you sure put me on. You sure put me on the spotlight.
Look here. We done played cat and mouse long enough now. It done turned what time? It's getting about after dark. I bet we need to change the sign. We've been Brown's neighborhood, but we need Brown's neighborhood after dark. Because Ed done cheated. And how did she find out?
Oh, man. It was...
Man, quit that, Eric.
I was slipping, man.
Well, how did you slip?
I was... this technology that we have.
If you keep twisted in that chair, I told you I need to put him in one of them stationary chairs. Because when it get hot in Brown's neighborhood, he go to swaying and trying to figure out what the next question. He just got to shake his head. We having fun. This is me and my buddy. We just gonna talk about it because I gotta get past this. We gonna get past it.
We
gonna get past it. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. We've been having a little bit, it's been really hunky-dory. Now it's time for the pressure. I didn't want to put it on him. I love him. I didn't want to put the pressure on him.
Yeah, you sure
How
did.
did you get caught?
Computer. Left my computer open and I was texting back and forth.
On the computer?
On the computer.
What? What, you was emailing?
Yep.
And what did you say on the computer?
Well, you know.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
It was open, and so she can just check everything that I was.
What you doing?
What I was texting. Yep.
So how many times did you cheat?
Just that one time. That's all it took, that one time. She was through. She was through after
But
that.
you got caught the first time?
First time.
Boy, that's why they say they call men dogs. They just shit and don't cover it up.
Yeah.
Hey, oh, Lord, let me sit up.
But now that's after
I'm
hours.
sorry. Yeah. I might have to be.
But you know.
No, I don't know. I'm going to find out, though.
Yeah, I messed
I
that
ain't
up.
finished yet.
Yeah.
Eric?
Yeah.
I'm like, when we was in school, that's the way the teachers used to do it. He sneaking doing stuff, and the teacher, Eric, you know, and he gonna be nice because he don't want him to go home and tell his parents.
Oh, yeah.
But he now that came on the Browns Neighborhood podcast. I ain't gonna put the bad stuff out on him, you know, because that's my friend. But you got
Too
caught.
late.
It's too late?
You already put it on.
Oh, my God. Eric,
Yeah.
why did you make the mistake and cheat?
I don't know. I guess I wasn't.
Why you keep saying you don't know?
No, I'm seriously. I just.
You do know.
It was.
Eric, you was a smart man. You do know.
I was tired of being at home, and one thing led to the next, and.
What do you mean you tired of being at home?
Things wasn't 100 at the house, you know.
Why was it not?
It just wasn't. I'm not gonna put it out there because.
Well, you know, I mean, somebody might need to know what happened. Was it you?
It was me. Yeah, I admit it. It was me.
So you made it bad at home.
Well, we both made it bad at home. You know, it was me. It was me.
All you.
Oh, well, somewhat of it. Somewhat of it.
You so nice, you don't even know how to.
No.
You left the computer on.
That's where I messed up. That damn Gateway computer. Back in the day.
Cell phones wasn't out? Texting
No,
wasn't
that
out?
wasn't out, man. That wasn't out, man.
You couldn't hit log out?
Something that happened, man, where I got up.
Was anything...
Going to work.
And you moved in a hurry?
Moved in a hurry. My daddy called me and said, you done messed up now.
How does he know?
She called him. Called my parents.
And told them what?
That I got extracurricular activity going on.
Your golden boy done did it again.
Did it again. I said, God damn.
Oh, my God.
Why me? It hurt me. I was hurt.
Well, why couldn't redeem yourself?
Nah.
You couldn't get help?
No.
No counseling?
We tried that, and
so you did try counseling?
we tried counseling,
And why couldn't it work then? You loved
because
it?
it was a lady counselor. This is what she gonna say. She told the counselor that he not gonna listen to nothing you say because you're a female and you're gonna be on my side. And so that's how I was thinking, you know. She said, no, Mr. Thompson, if you want a male to come in there to sit with us, we can have a male counselor to sit in on this.
Well, wait a minute.
And so I said, you're absolutely right.
Can I ask a question?
Go for it.
Was she willing to forgive you?
I don't know. I never did ask her
How you
that.
gonna be married for all this time? You mess up, really.
She was done. She was done with me.
Well, she was done with you before that then.
She was done with me.
My partner,
Yeah.
if you did that one time and it was a mistake, unless you had a lot of that stuff in that computer that you were saying that wasn't right. Now, if you doing that.
No, that was the only thing. That was the only thing.
You made one mistake.
But I think she went back and saw the dates of when I started communicating with this person.
But you hadn't done nothing.
Well, I had done something.
Before?
Before, yes.
So it happened more than once.
Yes.
You screwed the lady more than once.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah.
How many times? Wow.
Oh man, I can't.
You can't even know.
I can't know, man.
Oh yeah, well then she was done. Yeah,
Yeah, she was done with
you
me.
didn't want to see. You made me feel like you did one time.
No. She was.
No, Eric, you made it seem like you screwed that lady one time.
No.
You did it several times.
She saw the history of.
Look, I ain't gonna ask no more questions. But I'm gonna ask this.
Okay.
You did it over and over again.
What?
With that other
afterwards?
lady. No. Why you was with that? You know.
Yeah.
You went and snuck with that lady a few times.
Yeah.
What did that lady do to you to make you keep coming back?
Guess I was whipped. Well, Buddha, he got me. He got me, Buddha.
Hey, wait a minute. You was already whipped at home.
Yeah. I messed up. I admit it. I messed up. You know.
Good Lord have mercy.
Yeah. We get along now because of the grandkids. You know.
Well, yeah. You know. I mean, you didn't do it. I can't say you didn't do it on purpose, but you know, where did you meet that lady at?
The one
you cheated with.
Met her at the park.
How in the world you meet her at the park?
I was at the park working out, and she was working out.
And you said something.
Yeah.
How you doing?
There it is. That's all it takes. And that was it.
How you doing?
That was it.
But the crazy thing is this, E. She knew you was married.
Yeah. Well,
or did you lie and say you wasn't?
Well, at first I did. I lied.
You lied.
Yeah.
He's the kid that don't lie. This is an all-American kid. He didn't get in no trouble, nothing.
None.
But you started sneaking.
Yep. That's the only thing I regret in life.
Okay. Know? Well, that'll work. So, yeah. I mean, I feel like him. How long did that period of that other activity last?
Not long.
See, when you say that to me,
no,
you make me go to digging because you.
No, I say probably about 6 or 7 months after that. It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same.
What was
the same? I lost my family, you know, and it was kind of hard, and I was trying to blame this person for my breakup, but I can't blame her because it was me, you know.
Right. So you took the blame. So your wife really didn't do nothing.
No.
Well, why were you talking about she could have been part of, now.
Yeah, well, you know.
Was she treating you like a king?
When we was courting, I was being treated like a king. You know, even when we got married.
No, wait a minute.
Yeah.
No, let's tell the truth. Yeah. When you were courting, she treated you like a king.
Yes.
After you got married,
I was still being treated as a king.
Like a king or as a king?
As a king, you know.
I'm trying to get the distinguish of the two.
Well, you know, as a king, you know, she treated me well. It was just me. It was just me. I was the one that strayed. I was the one that messed things up for everybody.
Were you treated better before you got married?
Yep.
You were treated better before marriage.
Oh, yeah.
So you were still getting treated good married, but not as good as before you got married.
Right.
I mean, only you know.
Yeah. You know.
Are you getting... Well, wait a minute. So that ended. You're back single.
Yeah.
Lost.
I wasn't lost.
You wasn't?
No, because I was still working. Had an income.
You lost both women.
Yeah, but we were still. We wasn't gonna move back in. We were still because of the kids and stuff. You know, I was.
So were y'all living together, or y'all separated?
Oh, we separated.
Well, now,
that was the last straw.
That was. That might be if she thought you was having sex every month.
I come home and all my clothes out on the porch. I grabbed my shit and took it over Pop's house.
Did Pops lock you out or let you in?
No, Mom's and them, they let me in.
I know they gonna let you in. I'm just
till I, was able to get back on my feet.
Yeah, well, you they baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
You they babe.
That was a hard time going through that.
It was?
It was rough.
Lil E over there.
Yeah.
That really hurts you.
Yeah. I missed a lot of his growing up,
Well,
I would go pick him up on weekends.
So how old was he when that happened?
Eric was in, I think, the 8th grade.
Oh, so he was at least in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
So you were there between that 1 through 13.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big crucial time. Though.
Yeah.
So now he get 13. Now you start missing out.
Yeah. But I was still there for him.
But
with
not
his football and all
not
that.
being
baseball.
in the house.
Not being in the home.
Because he looked like you.
Yes.
That's your twin.
Yeah. That's my pride and joy right there.
Boy, that's it.
Yeah, that's my baby boy.
But you need to do good then.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to be the stand-up dad. For my grandkids.
You're doing good now. You done learned a lot.
Yeah, I done been through.
But we not finished.
Oh, shoot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're back single. Lonely. You ain't got no woman?
Well, I had.
You dated a little bit.
Yeah, I could make a call and
see somebody.
Yeah, that wasn't no problem.
But that still was lonely.
Yeah, it wasn't the same.
It ain't the same. So now you go to a wedding. You forgot about that?
No, I ain't forgot about that.
When did that happen?
What year was that? 2000.
How much longer after you separated that you went to that wedding? Because you wasn't going to mention it.
I think we was probably still together then. No, we wasn't. I'm trying to get the dates right. Was we still together then?
You want me to tell you how you can get it right?
I'm trying to think.
Want me to tell you how you can get it right?
I get it right.
Where were you living when you went to that wedding?
At my parents' house, I think.
Well, you were separated.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey.
Yeah.
You was in your parents' house?
Yeah. What year was that?
I don't know what year it was, but I wanted to know when you separated.
Yeah, we were separated. We were separated.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you separated, and you get invited to a wedding.
In the wedding.
Well, you get invited to be in the wedding.
Yes.
You're a lonely man.
Woo.
Lonely man going to a wedding.
Right.
He might get that thing they throw.
What's that, the garter? Not the garter. The garter. The garter. Yeah,
no,
the garter. The women get the bouquet. The men get the garter.
Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah.
You at the wedding. What happened? I'm going to let you tell the story.
I missed the first rehearsal. The second rehearsal was at the venue where the wedding was.
I want you to pick up the pace as you tell me about this.
And so we all lined up in formation.
Yeah.
Height.
Right.
Reach your hand out. Whoever grabbed your hand, that's who you escorting.
Right.
And at that time, there was a woman with pretty eyes. And I said,
is that the only thing that was pretty?
Oh, she was nice.
Nice what? What do you mean?
Nice complexion and long hair. Nice petite,
Nice what?
Petite, her body.
Nice body?
Yeah, body.
Okay.
And so we did our escort and all that.
So
we
can I ask you a question?
What?
When you seen it, did it turn you on?
It was something that I could have worked with.
I didn't ask you.
But
I didn't ask you
okay.
that.
I didn't know what her status was. So
okay. It don't matter. I didn't ask. I'm asking you when you seen her.
Yeah.
Next to you, right?
Yes.
You hold your hand out.
Yeah.
You looked at her. Mm-hmm. Did you like what you seen?
Yes.
That's all I want to know. That's it. All that other extra you finna give me.
Yeah.
She might have took in all of that.
Yeah.
It don't matter. You looked at her and it looked good.
That's right. And didn't even know her name.
Well, you didn't have to know her name. You don't know people's name when you first see them. What's wrong with it? Look at you was in a rehearsal.
Yeah.
And you look, man, but you hadn't seen her dressed up yet.
There it is.
See?
There it is.
You hadn't seen her fixed up.
Right.
You just seen her, regular.
Yeah.
And you already was turned on.
Uh-huh.
So now rehearsal is over. You have any more rehearsals?
That was it.
Yeah.
The next
time you seen her, it was the wedding.
And that was the next day.
The next day?
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
No, 2 days later. I think it was a Thursday.
I'm going to help you. I'm your friend.
Yeah.
In 2 days, it was the wedding.
That's right.
You know what you felt like?
Shit. I was sharp as a tack.
You were sharp, but I'm going to tell you what you felt like. Want me to tell you?
What?
You felt like it was your wedding again. Because now you see this lady dressed up. You know, when the ladies in the wedding, they dress up, right?
Yeah, buddy.
Was she looking fine?
Fine as wine.
Blew your mind. I know.
All day long.
Look here. How could she become the lady that's walking with me? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes.
I know you was messed up.
Yeah.
You were messed up? What do you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
You was messed up. Your name Eric Thompson, right?
Sure you right.
Bruh, look here. You like to take it easy. Yeah, Brown, you got that real deep voice. Yeah, Brown, it was But boy, you was excited as you can get.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I didn't get too excited.
No, look here. I don't want to hear that.
Because I don't know the history.
We ain't not thinking about history.
Okay.
We just in a wedding, walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
Don't you got to walk?
Yep. And the first thing she remembered, I said, let's do this.
Let's do what?
Oh, it was our turn to march.
Hey, you ain't have to tell her that.
And that was it.
Because she was going to walk anyway, right? Let's do this. Let's do what?
Yeah. They still don't know each other's name.
Man, look here. You didn't have to know her name. You know why?
Why?
Your eyes had already started twinkling.
Yeah, locked in on it, huh?
Boy, you was locked in. Your heart was pounding. Mm-hmm. You wasn't here to cause no conflict.
Yeah, but I had to play it cool because I don't know.
You is cool.
Yeah, but I don't know what. Was her husband there or boyfriend was there? So I had to play it cool.
You was playing it cool.
Right.
But in your mind, let me tell you what you were saying. Well, I sure wish I could talk to her.
Yeah.
Man, you hated to see the wedding end.
Yeah, well.
Because you was partners for a day.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
We partners for a day. You mine for one day, for one moment, you and me are together.
Yep.
Right? You can't forget that day, can you?
I can't forget it. But she can't forget it neither.
How you know?
Because she always bring this up. I didn't give her the time of day after we was partying and stuff. Mm-hmm. She said I was running from table to table in all these other women's faces.
You know what that means?
What that mean?
You wasn't running in their faces. Yeah. She just want to let you know you should have been over there talking to me.
No, because she wasn't going to let...
not...
Even to this day...
Not just in my face, but...
Yeah, even to this day, she bring that up.
So it was a memorable day.
Yeah. Then she said, well, I didn't show her no interest. So she went and called her husband. So he came down there.
Is that right?
Because I didn't show her no interest and stuff.
And you just ruined your night.
No, I didn't mess my night because I was gone then. I had left.
Oh, you left?
Yeah, I was
gone.
You
didn't see it?
I didn't see it. I left. I left before everything, the reception was over with.
And that was the last time you seen her?
Last time I seen her for...
After that wedding, that day, it was over?
Yeah, it was over with.
Did you ever see her again?
Years later.
How in the world did that happen?
It say about 5 or 6 years later.
Is that right?
Yeah. Or probably longer.
Never seen her no more. No contact, no nothing.
I used to ask my buddy's wife, because she used to have barbecues at her house and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I said, where your pretty-eyed girlfriend at that I walked in the wedding? Oh, she's married. And that's all I would get, So I said, I left it alone. And so LAUSD, they had a car show, Central and 15th Street, custom car show. So I was supposed to be meeting Kenyon Green. Mm-hmm. And we was going in together,
5 years later.
It was probably longer than that, probably 5 or 6 years.
Well, okay.
And so she was getting camera gear out of the trunk of her car, and I was just sitting in my car over there,
just looking,
peeking game,
looking at her.
Looking at her.
I don't want to hear no peeping game.
Yeah,
you looking at the lady.
Yeah.
You don't know it was that lady though.
Didn't know. Didn't have the slightest idea.
Didn't know. What were you looking at when you seen
her? Her nice camera setup and stuff, And she had on some jeans and some boots and stuff. And
you know what you just said?
Was her camera stuff.
You gonna see the one? You gonna be peeking game, and you looking at a camera setup.
But you
boy,
know,
she had on jeans.
Yeah, and a nice fitting blouse.
So you know what you was looking at?
I was looking at those jeans.
That's what I'm saying.
Swaying in the
Why are you talking about a camera?
Well, just messing with you. Because I know you're going to go there.
I'm sure I am.
Yeah. And so she got inside the place, so I'm still waiting. So I just got out.
You didn't know it was that lady?
Didn't know. That's nothing. And so...
That's nothing.
Let me get to it. So she was taking pictures, so I called her and asked her, do she take pictures for... I thought she worked for LAUSD Media. Take pictures and post them in LAUSD newspaper.
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
You called her?
No, when she was walking around, I caught her, caught up with her to see.
How did you get her attention? Did you walk over there?
Yeah, I was smooth and going through the aisles.
Did you walk over there?
Yeah, after about an hour.
After you got your confidence up?
I slid on over there.
I know you did, but after you got your confidence.
Yep.
So you was bruh, stop all of that. You was waiting on the right time, and when you seen her without anybody else around, you slid over there.
Yep, smooth,
sneaky.
There you go. That's a better word for it.
And so you went over there. When you seen her, you got there. Did you know it was her?
No.
You still didn't know it was her?
For a long time. So I asked her for...
a card.
Will I be able to get a copy of this?
A copy of what?
Of the cards that she was taking pictures of. Do you have a business card?
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
Did you want the pictures of the cars she took pictures of?
Not really. That's the way of breaking the ice. That's the way of sliding on in.
Well,
under the radar again.
I know that. I just wanted you to confess to it.
Yeah, so she said, I don't have a business card, but give me your phone number.
Can I ask you another question?
Go for it.
Did she know who you were?
Nah.
So y'all didn't even remember who each other was?
Nope. Ain't that sad?
No, it's going to make you glad in a minute. So, how did y'all keep in touch?
Okay. I found out she worked for the district.
So when
okay. At the car show.
Question. After that day, y'all just went y'all way.
Yeah. And she said she'd give me...
No phone numbers exchanged or nothing?
No, I gave her my phone number. And she said
How you just going to give her your number?
Because she didn't have a business card to give me. So I said, well, here, take my number.
Take my number so you can get pictures of the cars.
Exactly. On the disc.
But you didn't want no pictures of the cars.
Yeah, I wanted pictures of the cars.
And what you was going to do with them?
Shit, put them in my VCR and look at them. My DVD player and look at them.
Really?
Custom cars. Yeah. And so when I found out she worked
for LAUSD,
Hyde Park area, and during that time I was going to all the different areas, picking up supplies, dropping off supplies and stuff like that. And you
seen her?
And I seen her in the office, but I remember her from the photographer taking pictures.
So why didn't you just say hi?
Then I went into the office because she worked with the invoices and stuff. She was a senior clerk.
But you seen her?
Yeah, I seen her, and so it was hi and bye. Now, I go in, I speak to her, and boom, 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 boom.
Did you speak to her?
Yeah.
Did she know who you was?
She knew me from the car show.
She knew you from the car show.
That's it, from the car show.
And you just said hi.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this now. Was that the first time you seen her over there?
Yeah.
Or you knew what she was working at?
I knew where she was working at.
How did you know that?
Because I went into the office with some invoices and I saw her sitting at the desk. It was a couple more people that I knew worked there also.
Right, but that's when you first found out where she worked.
Exactly.
You like, man, that's the lady that was taking the pictures.
Yep.
So now you knew where she was.
Yep. But I wasn't really...
No, you wasn't really
pushing the issue.
We ain't say you pushed no issue, but you found out where she was.
Yeah, and that's when I got my disc from Hyde Park, from that area she was working at.
What disc? From the
car?
From
the car show.
She left it there?
No, she had told me she'd have it burnt for me.
Okay. And she didn't tell you to get it from her. You went and got it from somewhere else.
From the job. I'm going
to leave it over there for you.
Yeah.
And then you found out when you went over there to whatever school that was, and you seen her.
It's an area. She worked out of M&O.
Okay, an area.
Yeah.
And you was going over there taking care of business.
Yeah, taking care of business.
But
I made sure I would go in the office and speak to the ladies that was in there.
And you seen her?
Yeah.
And that's when you discovered where she was at again.
Exactly.
And after that happened, what happened?
I would make runs down there quite frequently, and I would go over.
Why would you make runs frequently?
Because I had a lot of material to deliver. And
so
a lot
you
of stuff
started
to pick
seeing
up.
her frequently?
Well, I just say hi.
I didn't ask you that.
How your day going? And that was it. We became...
Frequently?
Yeah.
And you became what?
Co-workers. I should put it like that.
Became co-workers that speak to each other.
Yeah. And that was it.
Okay.
And so...
Still didn't know who each other was from the West?
Still didn't know.
Okay, so let me ask a question. Were you liking what you seen when you go over there and speak?
By that time...
You had no interest?
Because...
I asked the question, Eric.
No, to get to that...
Did you have any interest?
Not really. Not really.
None at all?
None. Not really.
Wasn't thinking about talking to her or nothing?
No.
Wasn't even in your mind
Because I got wind that she was married, and her husband comes up there and take her to lunch or bring her lunch.
Okay, but I still would look at her.
Yeah, but
You stopped looking at her?
No, we became friends, but friends. It wasn't no sexual intuition.
No, ain't gotta be no sex.
Yeah.
But if the woman is pretty, she pretty.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
You can't stop somebody from looking pretty.
Yeah. And
you did you check her out?
Yeah.
Not trying to do nothing. You still, if you go in there all the time and she's dressed up or looking whatever, different clothes and stuff, you ain't looking?
Yeah, I'm looking.
You still a man?
But LAUSD got a policy of sexual harassment policy.
Man, you better look. You can't, what you gonna do, turn your head, you can't look at her?
No, I go over to her desk.
You became friends?
I go over to her desk and talk to her.
Oh, you was going to the desk?
Yeah.
And she still didn't know who you was from the wedding?
And she'll walk me back out to the work truck,
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You going over to the desk. How you doing?
Yeah.
Did you do that with any of the other ladies?
No.
Why not?
Well, I'll speak to them, and that's about it.
Why didn't you go to their desk?
Because she handles the invoices.
So you was bringing the invoice?
Yeah, the main paperwork.
But you could have just dropped them off and you knew them other ladies too, didn't you? Mm-hmm. You knew them?
Yep.
But you wasn't interested?
Nah.
And then once you give her the invoice...
They were older women.
Okay, well, can I finish?
Yeah.
Let me finish with you, because you kind of swift. You give her the invoices. Mm-hmm. She put the invoices down. Mm-hmm. Now you got to go back to the truck.
I got to get my copy first.
She make copies of them?
Yeah, she just tear it off.
Tear them off and you get your copy.
The golden rye.
Right, yeah. So now you get your copy.
Yeah.
She's still sitting down or whatever. She walk you out?
We walk out.
Why she walking you out?
Because we just talk about everyday life, how things going, blah, blah, this,
look here,
blah,
man. That is not normal.
Well, it was normal because...
No, it is not.
She never did tell me she was married. I heard it through the grapevine.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
It's not normal. Why she walking you out?
Because she said it was her break. She gonna take a little break. So we walking. You got to think. She was inviting me to parties.
She what?
Invited me to parties.
She did?
Yeah, but I never did go to none of them and stuff, you know.
She invited you to what kind of party?
Her 40th birthday party at the townhouse, a Halloween party, a luau at her house.
What?
Yeah, I was getting invites and stuff, you know. Like I said,
you was a nice guy.
Yeah, I was that nice guy.
Nice guy.
And I never did think to hit on her or nothing. It was just like me and you, buddy, you know?
Right.
That's how it was with her.
Okay. So
you know?
When did you find yourself attracted to her?
I always was attracted to her, but I would never cross that line because she was a married woman.
Right. So what made y'all more friends than what you were?
Well, she had a tragic in her life.
Okay.
Her son was tragically murdered.
Okay.
And so...
And when that happened, what happened?
I would always go down there and try to cheer her up, you know.
Why you?
Well, you know, because that was my friend. We was friends. And I would cheer her up and, you know, I would always go there and...
Wait a minute. I'm trying to get the substance of this. She had a son that passed.
Yes.
Eric gonna stop by and cheer her up.
At the job.
Okay, where that? Mm-hmm. So you brought invoices when you came?
Well, not really. I just made a little pit stop going by that way and stuff, you know. Because that's when she...
Wait a minute. The invoices didn't have no play.
Yeah, because...
You know, just stopping by.
You know, I had called and gave her my condolences when I found out.
That should have been enough.
Yeah, and I didn't talk to her because she was off for about a month or 2 months.
So you didn't see her for a month?
I didn't communicate.
And
I went to the service, you know.
Oh, you went?
Yeah, I went to the service, you know. Because that was my friend and stuff, you know.
You sure sound good when you say that, though.
Yeah, serious though. It wasn't... No,
man, look, so when that happened, you gave your condolences.
Yeah, and I would come up to her job and...
How often?
When I could. If I was working at a school over in that area, I'd swing by Hyde Park. If I was working at Crenshaw, I'd swing by Hyde Park. If I was working at 59th Street, I'd swing by. You know, just to cheer her up and stuff.
Man, look here. Man, it sounds real good. Mm-hmm. But you made it your appointment to cheer her up. Mm-hmm. I just want to cheer up my friend.
Yep.
Had no eyes for it at all.
Right.
You lying.
We skipped the part, though.
What part is that?
Okay. Now, before all this happened, she lost her son. I told Kenyon, I said, man, you should have been at the car show. I met this beautiful, pretty-eyed woman.
At the car show?
At the car show, waiting on your ass. And I told him, I said, her name was Dara Davis. He said, what? And he said, Dara. I said, yeah. He said, fool, you escorted her at my wedding. I said, no, man. So first thing I did was call her. I said, hey, I got something I want to tell you. I'm about to come down there. So I said, you remember Kenyon and Tammy? She said, oh, that's where I know you from. I said, your black ass didn't even know who I was. She said, no, your black ass didn't know who I was. And so that's when we became really close buddies.
Right.
Yeah, we got real close then, you know.
Real good friends.
Yeah, that's when I really got invited to a bunch of parties and gatherings and stuff. But I never did go to none of them, out of respect.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Even though wasn't nothing going on still.
Wasn't nothing going on, but were you digging her?
Yeah, we was cool.
You couldn't help it.
I'm Tillman's son.
You who?
Tillman Thompson's son.
Your daddy?
Yeah. I couldn't help it.
You couldn't help it?
Couldn't help it.
Even as much as you want to say you wasn't interested, you but you still couldn't help. You couldn't stay away.
Couldn't stay away.
Even if it was just being a friend.
I always look forward to seeing her.
As a friend.
As a friend. And then tragedy struck.
Right. And when that happened, you became closer.
Yeah.
You wanted to be there like nothing else.
Yeah.
Anything you need me to do, I'm right here to do it.
That's right.
Right?
Exactly. Then
what?
9 months later or a year later, her husband passed away.
Oh, Lord.
And, and I still didn't throw myself at her or nothing like that.
You had already did that.
Well, not really,
Not throw yourself at it, but if you going visiting all the time, what more can you do?
Yeah, and and we
Boo.
And I still
why are you trying to be so modest?
And I still
that's how he won her over, being a nice guy.
Yeah, and I comfort her doing her husband when she was going through that, and I went to court with her for the sentencing of the guys that took her son's life. Yes, and I was.
But that happened before he passed.
Right. No, I think he had passed. He had passed.
Okay.
Yeah, the husband had passed on. Yeah.
So you started doing the manly duties.
Well,
No.
I was.
No.
How can I say?
No, bruh.
Yeah.
You started stepping in like you was the man.
Yeah. You can say that. You can say that. And it was when we started, wasn't no stopping, wasn't no slowing down. We still getting it. Like we just met yesterday. Every day it get better and better.
Boy, Ruby, what they call that arrow?
Cupid,
yeah. Cupid still exists?
That motherfucker shut my ass up, boy. Yeah. We done had our ups and downs, but we good. We good.
Well, you still there now. You look here. You still there.
Yep, we good. It's a good woman. Good woman. Yep, good woman.
Well, you found gold.
Man, liquid gold.
Gosh.
Shit.
Damn.
Forming my mold and stuff. That liquid just pouring
Changed your life. How long have it been?
And me and her been together 9 years, about to go on 10 years.
Almost been a decade.
Yep.
Your life haven't been the same.
Haven't been the same. You see the pictures we take all the time.
All the time, you look like you in love.
Yeah, we travel together, man. We just have a good time, man. Enjoying life, man.
Enjoying life.
She said, I got to hurry up and get my hip done so we can enjoy more life,
Boy, you trying to get it done as soon as possible.
Yeah.
You gonna get it done.
Yeah, I got to get rid of a little
Oh,
bit
yeah,
more time.
you gonna do it. You know why?
Why?
Boy, look here.
I don't want to miss out. Yeah, I don't want to miss out.
You working on it.
That's
you
right.
coming down, though.
Yeah, I'm coming down.
We gonna get Eric back.
Yeah.
Baby, just hold on. Eric coming back.
Like I tell her, I said, I'm trying to get my sexy back.
Oh, you gonna get it back?
She said, don't let me have to come whoop your ass talking that shit.
Oh, you gonna get it back?
Yeah.
You on a mission?
Yeah, I'm on a mission, man.
Hang in there, baby. I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love it. This is my main man, Eric, boy.
Yeah.
I've been working hard just to get this one love story. This is love. This is a real love story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Man, and I'm happy for you because, man, it's hard to find love. I'm telling you.
It is, man.
It's hard to find somebody that you can enjoy your life with and be there for them and they there for you.
Because on streets,
those streets will tear you up, man. Look here.
Chasing those
when
skirts.
you find something good, well, you better hold on to it.
That's right.
You better hold on to it, especially as we getting older, too.
Yeah, she helped me out a lot. She helps me out 100%.
That should make it even more, Negro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, we good. We good. I don't even bat an eye.
Oh, no, you ain't gonna bat no eye.
You know.
Because you ain't finna go out and find one finer than that.
No, because all the youngsters want, they nail, what they say, what they nail.
Oh, man, look at, boy, when that lady get dressed up, your mind be blown.
Yep, you know it.
Y'all love getting in the swimming pools,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Yeah, every time I see them, they go on a trip, they in the water.
Yep.
You know, so, man, that's a beautiful thing, man. Pops will be happy with you, you know.
Yeah, moms and pops, both of them.
Mom and pops will be happy with you, you know. That you know. Your brother Kevin, glad that you back taking care of yourself, getting it together.
Yes.
You know, that's a beautiful thing, man, you know, because y'all are good, close family.
That's
you know?
right. That's right.
Good, close
the
family.
Thompson brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Thompson brothers.
Yeah. You know, so little baby brother, get it together, boy.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Yeah.
But you're getting it together, so that's the main thing.
Yeah.
I love it, Eric. Man, look here. I wanted the love story, and I got it.
Yeah.
But that first time he messed up. You can't mess up no more.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna do it?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, see,
I'm
he
straight.
good. He good. Boy, he was going slow like he was going around the mulberry bush. I'm like, man, if this cat don't pick up the pace, even a little chihuahua moving faster, and he just hiding. You was hiding there.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You didn't want to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. But
well,
you made one mistake.
Yeah, and I learned from that mistake.
Yeah. You know, so
I learned from that mistake. You know.
So Buddha, we're gonna tell the Lord, thank you. You know what I'm saying, Eric.
Amen.
Eric, man, I thank you, boy. You done lived a good life, Eric.
Yeah, you know I can say so, but I lived a great life.
You lived a really good life.
You know, didn't have no hardships. I only had a little hardship, just a couple of months.
Right.
But I bounced back and stuff, you know. But I can say I lived a good life. You know, I can't complain about nothing.
Right.
And I thank the good Lord for getting me this far, you know.
Well, through school and all of that, you know, mom and dad, you know, made sure you had everything you wanted.
That's right.
Got older, you worked, took care of yourself and all that. You had a good life, man.
Yeah.
A lot of them cats been on drugs and everything else, man.
And I see them, man, I say, damn.
You know, drinking, all of that.
Yes.
So, you know, you God save you.
Yeah, you know, I stopped all those bad habits when Lil E was born.
Okay.
You know, and I feel good about myself for stopping the way I did. You know, cold turkey, cigarettes, weed, and drinking.
Is that right? You smoke cigarettes too?
Like, trying to be cool. My brother said I looked stupid smoking. Then they said, "Let me have a cigarette." And I said, "No, you say I look stupid." So I had to quit all that stuff.
All that stuff.
Yeah. And I feel good.
And you know what's a trip? You and Kevin, y'all had that same voice tone.
Yeah.
How in the hell that happened?
You should hear the other brothers.
Sound like that too?
Yeah, man. Yeah. When we was younger, we used to go around, like, when we go to funerals or weddings and stuff. They say, y'all singing group. You know, we get around, you know, those white folks, like, we get on the elevator and stuff. They said, y'all singing group? Then my other brother said, yeah, we a gospel group.
Because all y'all sound alike.
Yeah.
That's something, man.
Yeah.
You've got a lot to be thankful, Eric.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
I'm
man.
thankful, man.
Yeah.
You know,
got a lot
a good upbringing in the home and stuff, you know, and, you know, we fought, the brothers, you know, we fought, but, you know, but we made up.
Right.
And even to this day, we all get together and do something.
Your little nephew, he's a little all-star, ain't he?
Xavier?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Man, he even got swagger, you know?
Yeah.
That little man got swagger. CJ,
Yeah.
CJ got swagger, man.
Yeah, he's something else, you know. That boy can play some baseball.
Yeah, he already got it in his head, you know, what he want to do, and He disciplined about it. You know, I mean, he's wow.
Yeah, I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
And he's a hell of a basketball player, too.
Yeah, yeah.
And football.
He played football, too?
Flag, yep. But the mama don't want him to be in no pads because, you know, she don't want him to get no concussion and none of that stuff. So which is,
well, you know, baseball is really the thing, though.
Yeah, baseball.
I wouldn't want to go and hurt myself playing around.
Yeah.
When baseball.
in basketball, he's excellent in basketball.
Oh, is he?
And he's a really stand-up kid in baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loved that baseball.
Yeah, he loved
man.
it. He loved it.
He loved that baseball. Hey, and believe it or not, if you make it in that baseball, it pay more than all of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And his younger sister, she's good at softball and basketball.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's a competitive little family.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got some competitiveness over there.
Yeah,
she don't want to let him outshine her.
So they working on the third one. The third one, I think she's going to be playing softball also.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Santana.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Buddha, we going to get out of here because they're going to keep spinning in that chair.
Oh, okay.
I ain't going to say nothing no more. The camera can't keep up with it.
Oh, man.
That camera can't keep up with it. But there, boy, you look at, if you don't believe in Jesus, put him in your life. He gonna help you. He gonna help you.
Yeah.
We thank God for this Brown's Neighborhood podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Butchie, thanks for having me, man. I
man.
really appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
You know, we need to do more of these and stuff,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
different topics, different
Yeah.
subjects and
Yeah.
stuff, you know.
That was,
You know, I have a lot to talk about, but I know we only got a certain little time limit and stuff.
Yeah.
But I come back.
yeah,
me
come
and
on
Leonard,
back and shit.
you know.
And boy, you get Leonard on here with you sure is going to have to talk about stuff. He want to be on here with you, boy. Boy, that Baker, that's my boy, that man.
That's my buddy.
Yeah,
there, boy.
man, look here. We done been through the trenches, you know?
Yeah,
But we still hanging.
that's right.
And we ain't gonna stop. This is a brotherhood, familyhood, you know.
That's right.
When you've been knowing somebody this long and been with each other this long, you become family, man.
That's right.
You know, so
Ever since Miss Stern,
yeah.
kindergarten.
God, dog,
Miss
man.
Stern.
When you look back over your life, you like, man, I went to elementary with these guys. That was a long time ago.
And you know, it was good to see Leonard doing good, Antoine, Dave.
Yeah.
You know, all of us, we and we brought up together, and we all still standing strong,
you know
man,
what I'm
toe
saying?
to toe and stuff.
Then
you know,
your boy had to go over there and get tipsy, yell the wine.
he got everybody tipsy.
He had it in his car. Oh, look at here, Elder Way, you dirty boy.
That's all right. That's my partner too, boy, Elder Wade Patterson. He was there with us in the sandbox.
Yeah, he was. He was. He been on here.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But hey, Buddha, we're gonna say thank you, Jesus, for the podcast show. Until next time, but see, I'm gonna put Eric on there. I'm gonna put him on there. I'm gonna make sure they zoom right in on him, dude. And click. And he gonna be like, oh boy, why Brian put that out on me, man?
Oh man.
You know. But it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna say good night. Thank you, God, for all you keep doing for us. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.